why Sean O'Malley's career might be finished, and why UFC fans are finally waking up. After UFC Noche, the illusion shattered. O'Malley wasn't the next McGregor. He was the next UFC experiment, a hype train designed by Dana White to sell tickets, merch, and viral knockouts. But Merab Dvalishvili? He wasn't in the script. Let's not forget the circus that was O'Malley's camp. With coach Tim Welch more concerned about social media than strategy, Sean stepped into the octagon with one of the greatest bantamweights ever and didn't take him seriously. The result? Mistakes, poor cardio, footwork disasters, and excuses. But Merab, this man broke his toe in training, laughed, and said he'd cut it off if needed. That's a different breed. That's champion mentality. Now O'Malley is humbled, calling Ilia Topuria the #1 pound-for-pound fighter, a far cry from the man who once called out everyone. He had dreams of fighting Topuria, and now he's fighting for relevance. Chael Sonnen said it best: if O'Malley loses again, this could be it at 135. Might have to go to 145, or disappear. This is Sean's Rich Franklin moment. The Anderson Silva problem. Some fighters are great until they meet the wall. For O'Malley, that wall is Merab Dvalishvili. Let's be fair, Sean's rise was electric. That knockout on Dana White's Contender Series, the title win against Sterling, and even the revenge over Chito Vera. But when the cardio runs out, when the defense cracks and the gimmick fades, what's left? If he loses to Merab again, there's no trilogy. There's no title shot. There's only the long road to 145. A division stacked with killers, no room for flash, no space for sugarcoating. O'Malley's next fight isn't just about gold. It's about legacy. It's about survival. And let's be real. If Merab's toe could talk, it would probably say, "Don't worry, bro. I'll limp so you can shine." Meanwhile, Sean's hair is still undefeated, but his footwork? That retired back in 2022. O'Malley's fans keep saying he just had a bad night. Merab had a broken toe, busted fight camp, and still came out looking like a cardio-fueled Terminator on pre-workout and revenge. At this point, Sean's best move might be opening a podcast called Almost Greatness with Patty Pimblett. They can call it Sugar and Calories, talk about their diet, fame, and how it all went downhill after the Contender Series. Let's face it, Sean might land a few flashy punches, but Merab's the kind of guy who could chase you down in flip-flops uphill in the snow. And let's not forget the infamous training footage where Sean O'Malley was seen practicing his takedown defense by wrestling with a pool noodle. Fans couldn't help but comment, is that his secret weapon against Merab? Meanwhile, Merab Dvalishvili continues to live up to his nickname, The Machine. With a record-breaking 92 takedowns in UFC history, he's not just breaking records, he's breaking spirits. Conor McGregor even chimed in, calling Merab magnificent ahead of his rematch with O'Malley. When the notorious one gives you props, you know you're doing something right. As for Sean, he's been intensifying his training, even going as far as quitting social media and teaming up with former champion Demetrius Johnson. But will that be enough to counter Merab's relentless pace and wrestling prowess? The upcoming UFC 316 bout isn't just a fight. It's a test of hype versus heart, flair versus firepower. Will the Suga Show make a sweet comeback? Or will The Machine continue his unstoppable run? And let's be real, Sean O'Malley went from saying he's the best striker in MMA, now talking like Ilia Topuria's personal fanboy. He called Ilia the pound-for-pound king, right after he got bullied by a bantamweight with the cardio of a Tesla on full charge. What happened to wanting to kill everyone in the division? Now it's just, please don't take my belt, Mr. Merab. And then there's Tim Welch, the coach who preaches about fighting smart while Sean's walking into right hands like they're free samples at Costco. It's like watching a tech bro try jujitsu after one Joe Rogan podcast. The man has a YouTube channel with recovery bath rituals, but apparently skipped wrestling drills for 3 straight camps. Let's not ignore how Merab is treating this like a national war. He's already training like he's prepping for Dagestan's entire Olympic team. The man literally said he'd cut his toe off if needed and still walk to the octagon. When was the last time Sean showed that energy? Dude needs a vape break between rounds. Even Dana White seems to be slowly backing away from the O'Malley experiment. Sure, he was the sugar-coated successor to McGregor, but now Dana's probably pitching Power Slap 2 as a backup plan in case Sean gets ragdolled again. And don't get us started on Chael Sonnen comparing Sean's future to Rich Franklin's. Sean's game plan for Merab sounds like it was written by ChatGPT on battery saver mode. Fans are catching on. O'Malley's flashy knockouts are great until someone like Merab shows up and turns it into a cardio IQ test. You can't cosplay as McGregor forever. At some point, you either become a legend or an Instagram influencer who gets guillotined on PPV.